Morning. I took this photograph along with some others of the sky last night, evening. This way is the west, that's looking due south. So these lovely clouds here were highlighted by the sun going down. It wasn't so low that it didn't underlight the clouds, but it's more or less sideways on. So it was just catching the leading edges and a bit of the top. So I'm going to try and do something like that. That's the end of my garden. But these trees, that's a eucalyptus, so I'm going to cut those off. If you let these things go in a suburban garden, before you know where you are, you're paying £400 or £500 to get somebody to cut the things down. So I try to keep it to a manageable size. I give our neighbours the branches, about 12-13 foot high from the top of the main trunk, and they've got a florist and they're grateful for the eucalyptus lovely greenery. So that's quite a tall tree there, but because I was aiming up, you won't see my garden. But I'm going to invent some sort of landscape. I'm not going to paint that, but I wanted to use the sky as just a guide, so I put that to the side. So this would be a sort of a tutorial. Now the main colour in those clouds are probably a bit of yellow ochre with a bit of light red, and then the light red mixed with a bit of ultramarine will give the shadows under the clouds. Or yes, they will. So, but at least they did it all. Now I must remember to put my camera back to where the board is. Otherwise, once again, you won't see anything. Just listen to me rabbiting on. Right, okay, so I've got my palette here. I've got some mid-yellow, some ochre, white, vermilion, which I probably won't use, some light red, ultramarine, burnt sienna, which is very similar to the light red, and black. I'm not sure, I probably will use the black. Right, okay, so I need a bit of green, a shortcut to a green. I don't like really using greens. I've been using Viridian, but I've got a bit of this, if I can get the lid off, phthalo green, phthalocyanine. I don't know what it's like. Well, at least I can't remember. It's probably it's very similar to Viridian. We'll use it. I've got it, so I might as well use it, might I? Got a cup of tea, of course. I looked at Stephen Cronin's latest one, which is very, very nice. If you're a pure watercolourist, I should have a look at Stephen Cronin's site. He's very, very good. I watch all his videos. He's got his own niche and he's very good in it. Right, okay, so I'll dry this brush. What I've done with the paper, it's just ordinary, just any old watercolour paper. This is Canson, I bought it in America. I've painted both sides with acrylic or PVA diluted glue or varnish or whatever glue, and on this side I've added a bit of plaster of Paris while it was wet, and just to give it a bit of tooth. So it's a sort of a gesso. So both sides are waterproof now, so we'll put in I'll make up some sort of landscape at the bottom here with this. I'll use this phthalo, vermilion, and a bit of green, bit of yellow. So let's just, nothing too elaborate, make it a bit warmer as well. I'll put a field in there. As this dries, I can paint into it. Well, do it all the same, do I? Just a prop to a bit of black in there, black, sienna, any old colours. Just it's overexposed on the film, so what we've got is sort of a silhouette, which is fine. We can get some warm in there. might elaborate that a bit more. Right, let's clean the brush. So I want to bring the sky down into that. So we'll have a bit of yellow ochre, a bit of green. We can put in some wildflowers in the foreground here. Very impressionist. As that dries, it will pick up more paint, it will make a texture. Come down a bit more with that dark colour in the shadow. Although there won't be a shadow because the light is the shadow will be cast that way, I think. So anyway, it's only just a prop for this lovely sky. Right, we'll go with a bit of ultramarine. I have discovered some cobalt blue, but I'm just going to stay with my ultramarine. Ultramarine, a bit of alizarin. When I find it, there it is. Although I've done hundreds and hundreds of watercolour demonstrations, I think I'm more comfortable with the opaque medium. I do enjoy being able to change these things and model with them. So we've got some nice brightish greeny blue. See how that's catching the high spots? I'll use a bit of that phthalo and a bit of the blue because that will hopefully give us sort of a cerulean luminosity. See, whatever you put on, you're going to change. It's probably not going to be luminous enough, is it? But anyway, we'll work at it until something happens. Nice light blue in here. Plenty of paint there. I'm not using any medium, mainly because I forgot. That's grey rather than a blue. That's the green doing that, so I can change all that as we go along. And there's a bit of green and yellow coming in, which I shall remove from the white from yesterday's effort with the sunflower. Hope you enjoyed that. If you've watched it, if you haven't, well, have a look. I've never painted a sunflower before, and I promise you I didn't copy Vincent, who really had the last word in sunflowers, didn't he? Alright, just cleaning off that white there. I'm not one for using loads of brushes at any one time. I keep one going as far as I can. Probably use 3 or 4 brushes. Right, excuse me, let's swig in my tea. Right, let's go back and redo some of that blue because it's all dry. It's very, very warm at the moment, which is that time. We've had a bit of a mixed summer so far. Right, blue, white. Oh, look at that. Where did that come from? Oh dear. Oh, well, it happens. I'm just covering the paper at this stage. It's taken a bit of doing because of the gesso or the DIY gesso. I don't want to thin the paint really, it's thin enough as it is. Okay. I think the thing is keep it loose, fluid. But if you work it too much before it's dry, or it's dried in, it will go thin like that. It'll start dragging off the paints underneath. So we'll move on to some clouds now. Cream brush, cream the brush. So this is where we use the light red and a bit of ochre, and you'll see what I mean. White. So the white and the red, the light red, becomes pinkish. Right, I want some white in there, a bit of ochre. And now into that we'll mix a bit of blue with the light red and plenty of white, and we'll just okay, so we're coming on. Now we've got quite a big wodge of blue-grey, light red and ultramarine, plenty of white though, it's only, but it must be warm. That's not quite what I had in mind. So we're just putting colour on, working our way round the scene. But that's the lovely thing about acrylic, you can change it very quickly. And my brushes are very, very rough. I've got some burnt sienna there, right where I'm mixing my blue. I'll just clean my palette knife off. It's filled with all sorts of paint and stuff. So I'll keep a craft knife very close. Oh, that's so hard. I've had this painting knife for years and years. It was good quality to start with, that's why it's lasted so long. That one. Right, let's remove it, get it out of the way. When I worked with oil, this is my setup. I used this sort of bit of plywood. This is about 3'6" long, as a table, and I mixed my oil. Well, I did when I did oils, mixed my oils on it. It made a very, very good table and the surface. It's got so much linseed oil on it, but it's getting a bit wrecked with all the acrylic. But it doesn't matter. But it's traditional now. It's sentimental use. I'll finish my tea. Right, let's go back to the foreground while that's just drying off. So I want this to be much more blended. cloth is now sopping wet, so I'll put that there to dry, and I will get another one. Right. So we'll mix a bit of green. I always mix a bit of red with my greens. It makes it look more realistic. Occasionally a bit of light there. I do like black. I think it mixes very well with the greens, the lemon or the lighter yellows. Let's put that on there. Right, okay, it looks a bit samey, doesn't it? But anyway. So we'll just do this. Bit of grass, bit of ochre in that yellow. I'm going to put some poppies in this. But I don't really want to turn it into a landscape. But as you go, things have ideas come, shapes form, and you sort of go with it. Now I'll go back to some burnt sienna, but I'll move it further towards the black, out of the way of that blue. You use all the brush. A bit of warmer colours. Oh, excuse me. We're just creating an impression of rough ground. But this is taking over the landscape. But into that we can put in the light catching the tips of some of these warmer colours. Just put in a bit of texture on this, just to break up the slabbiness of it and just send it back into the landscape a little bit. See what you can do with all of the brush, not just a bit of it at the tip. Now we're sort of sending that back by making it just a little bit indistinct and bring a bit of detail in it. Okay, so that will do. Right, now I've had enough of that brush. Now I'll use this brush to do. Oh, that's still wet. Don't know why. Okay, I'm going to shortcut that. I'll use the hairdryer. Right, that should be it. I'll clean my palette. See, I throw things down and I never know where they are. Right, some nice bluey colour for the skies. trying to get a luminous blue, but I need more white. Let's see if I can. Whoops. There. Push it down hard. I usually use a thicker board behind the mount of the support, but it was there from the larger painting I did yesterday, those sunflowers. Right, squeeze out some more white. You do need to buy 4 times as much white as anything else. Right, get this luminous bit here. A bit better. The sky is a little bit bitty, but not as much as I'm making it. But I used to paint the sky in first and superimpose the landscape on it, but I think it has a greater impact if you paint down to the landscape. We'll put in some sky holes. Right, that's where we want. That it was too dark, too heavy. The blue behind before. But we'll let a bit of it shine, the darker stuff shine through. So I'm just trying to soften. It's just coming in. Just go over the edges. I'll keep everything soft. A bit more luminosity where that right hand cloud is. And I'll put my clouds back over that. Right, just scumble over all of this now, and we can go back over it. That's more blue in there. Then we'll crack on with the clouds, so let's get that nice and light here. Just clean the brush. Any more tea left? Yeah. Right, now this is where we're going with the light red, plenty of white. Probably a bit of yellow in there, just a touch. Now, I know some of you have trouble with doing your clouds. I used to have a lot of trouble as well. You're not the only one. But I've just done a lot of it, and this one is taking a bit more time than I wanted to spend. But I'm just flickering that. I think that we tend to paint our clouds too heavy and too white. When like this, they've got a lot of colour. They've got all these little clouds just floating across the sky. I did a big chicken curry last night on the barbecue. I like to be in my garden and the weather's really nice like this. Right, let's just get that bit light there. A bit of impasto. And we can put the clouds, the shadow of the clouds underneath. Right, let's get that in here. I've gone a bit high with that cloud there, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to mix a bit of blue in with that now, blue and red. So this is my gentle cloud colour. It's on the red side of the blue-grey. Look, I'll show you the palette. I can't hold it, it's too heavy to hold. Just look, just stroked in. Try to be subtle with all this. And a bit more blue in there now. The back of this cloud here. Now I need much more light on the fronts of these clouds now, so I'll just clean the palette. Always have a bit of tissue, roll of tissue paper or toilet paper. These membranes are pretty tough. White, touch of, oh that's too much, I can't. That is far too dark for there. I want that almost just touching the red. Just highlight this now. What you don't want to do is repeat yourself, but that one seems to be repeating this one. So I'll make more of this one here. Always a danger if you think, oh that's good. Look, I've gone and repeat, I've gone and done two. So I'm going to take some of that out. Oh, I'm going to put some blue back. I'll make the bottom one just a little bit smaller. It does go into, this one is nearer, I think, so that light cloud disappears behind this. Now I'll just get that, let's try a bit of that. Right, now go back with that sky, now that light sky. So just a touch of blue in it. So making this one smaller. Alright, just going over it to soften a little bit. It's still a bit similar. Even if it is in reality, this cloud comes up there, this one comes from in, down there, and I need to put in a bit more blue to break that edge up. Here. So I'm gradually losing it. Nobody said that painting's easy. It's just not impossible. It's just a willingness to work at it and not quit when you can't do it. Now we'll see if we can get even lighter blue. Oh, that's coming on, isn't it? I could never get it as good as nature. I mean, I'm not that good, but see, I'm just losing these a little bit. Okay, I reckon that's coming. That's something near to what I was sort of working from. Just a bit of cloud there, the shadow, the little cloud I mean. Okay. Right, I'm going to put in a bit of one of these up here a little bit. Nice sort of eucalyptus, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a bit of that cloud colour on the edge of my trees. Now, be very gentle with this. Just catching a bit of light there. On the light side of it, not on the shadow side of it. Come through there, just around there. Right, we'll get some light in here. So this, we could say, is just a study tutorial. Okay, let's get my texturing brush, my stipple brush. We'll put a bit of stuff back in here. A bit of white. Well, there's so many bristles that are separate in the brush now, look. So I can just drag or push. Keep it on the green side, but oh, I do like doing this. I will be going back to some watercolours, but at the moment I'm more than happy doing these. I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to put a naff figure in here or anything. Clean that off, and now we'll put in some wildflowers. Break the bristles up a little bit, get them with a poppy colour, and just a little bit of interest in a bare foreground. I like this vermilion. If you want the vermilion or your red to look lighter, don't mix it with white, you just go pink. Unless you wanted to go pink. But mix it into some a wodge of yellow, light yellow. That will make it lighter. And as they go into the distance, you can put a bit of white if you wish. Oh. Okay. Now we'll do some whites and some wildflowers, yellows. Just have fun with your painting. Every failure is one nearer the masterpiece. There's some white in there now. It's all creating an impression of a sort of a meadow under that sun. Oh dear. Pollen, probably. Oh, we just soften this edge up here, this boundary. I'm going to put a bit of blue in there and a bit of white. So ultramarine, white. These are the cornflowers. Right, just a few. Then some nice white. Okay, now this is bags of damn all, isn't it, as Ted Wesson would say. So I reckon we could put a couple of crows in there. Vincent did. I knew what he was, what his mind was like. Oh, that's. No, I won't ruin it. Right, we'll put that in a mount. Demonstration of trying to paint the sky from a photograph taken last night. Let's put the mount on it. I think the blue mount in there. Just put a bit of blue in it. So there we are. It's nothing. It's just a sky tutorial trying to paint the sunset. Well, it wasn't a sunset because the sun was setting in the west, but this was just the late, the late clear, the late. Well, it was probably about 8 o'clock last night. Let's see the sun going down. That was my rubber, my putty rubber. I knock it, it rolls off the table. I've got loads more. Right, we'll come in to have a look at that. Right, let's zoom in. So, look, we've got this. I could elaborate and put a fence in or something, but it was really these clouds that I wanted to paint. I don't know if they're coming out. They're very subtle, I think. Let's come out a bit. Oh, that's better. I can see some colour in there. So we'll just say evening sky in acrylic. That'll do. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.